Hello. I think we're getting ready to get started. I'm Penelope Flynn, and we are going to be working today with Speed Date a Book. My goal is today to be your moderator, where I will talk you through our speed dating process. So thank you for showing up at our year-end celebration for Speed Date a Book. The event is brought to you by Strong Women Strange Worlds, which is a group of authors supporting authors. Our mission is to elevate the voices of women and non-binary authors of science fiction, fantasy, and horror through events like our bi-monthly virtual quick read sessions. You can find more about Strong Women Strange Worlds by visiting our website, strongwomenstrangeworlds.weebly.com, the link of which should also be added to the chat. I'm your host today, Penelope Flynn, and you can find out more about me and all the authors participating today in the handout we prepared, which can be downloaded from the website. Please note that recording this session by the audience is not allowed, and recording of electronic communications, including Zoom meetings and webinars, without permission is probably illegal. So today we'll be featuring 6 authors who will each have 2 minutes to pique your interest in their book using song, mime, interpretive dance, puppets, and whatever else they can think of. Here's how today's event will run. We will have 6 authors here who will be trying to convince you to take on one of their books out on a date. The authors will each have 2 minutes to pitch the merits of their book to you, the audience. And then after all authors have gone, the authors will answer some rapid fire dating game style questions. That's where you, the audience, comes in. I'll be soliciting questions to ask the authors from all of you. So have your speed dating style questions ready to send me in the Zoom chat box. So, all right, here we go. Let's bring on the authors. Now, our first author participating is A.F. Stewart, a steadfast sci-fi and fantasy geek who was born and raised in Nova Scotia and still calls it home. She favors the dark and deadly when writing, and as an indie author, she's published novels, novellas, and story collections with a few side trips into poetry. Our second author is Angela Acosta, a bilingual Mexican-American poet and visiting assistant professor of Hispanic Studies at Davidson College, published in Shoreline of Infinity, Apparition Lit, Radon Journal, and Space and Time. She's author of A Belief in Cosmic Dailiness, Poems of a Fabled Universe, for Red Ogre Review of 2023. J.S. Field is a scientist who has spent too much time around organic solvents. They enjoy roller derby, wood turning, making chainmail by hand, and cultivating fungi in the backs of minivans. Adeena Mignogna, author of the Robot Galaxy series, is an engineer working in aerospace and a longtime science fiction geek with a strong desire to inspire others through speaking and writing about robots, AI, aliens, virtual reality, and more. Claudia Blood is an award-winning author who blends her science and IT background with a lifelong passion for Dungeons and Dragons to pen both sci-fi and fantasy novels. Gyzander is a Bram Stoker Award finalist who writes and edits horror and sci-fi. Her cryptid novella, Forget Me Not, is set near Niagara Falls in 1969 and 1939. Her latest horror anthology, A Woman Unbecoming, benefits reproductive healthcare services. Her latest short story is in Weird Tales issue 367. So, all right, who's ready to hear some pitches? First up to pitch to us is A.F. Stewart. Are you ready, author number 1?
Yes, I'm ready.
And go.
Once upon a time in faraway lands, 9 fairy tale retellings of horror and heartbreak were born. Gone are the damsels in distress and the knights in shining armor. Here, happily ever after just means surviving. In these pages, you will find monsters, murder, vengeful mermaids, witches. Don't go into the woods, dearie. Wolves. Ow! Corpse brides. I've been murdered. And crones. Remember, stay out of those woods. What grim fate awaits them? Find out in fairy tales and nightmares. And that's it.
Fantastic. Way under time. Good work. All right. We are, if you have anything else for your last few seconds that you want to say as we move on, before we move on.
Just the book is, as I said, 9 fairy tale retellings. They're all dark fairy tale retellings back to the origins of the old original fairy tales, horror, set in history, pretty gruesome in some respects. And you can find retellings of Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Red Riding Hood, Snow Queen, Baba Yaga, and a few others.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, I hope you can hear me and see me, right? Y'all can hear and see me. The next author we have is Angela Acosta. So, Angela, we are ready to get started. We want everything to be fair, every amount of time. And go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Angela Acosta, and I am your bilingual cosmic tour guide to A Belief in Cosmic Dailiness, Poems of a Fabled Universe. I'd like everyone to take a seat around the campfire because I have a lot of stories about all sorts of exoplanets and spacecraft ready for you in this collection. It's almost entirely poetry with some prose poems and one flash fiction piece towards the end. We're so excited to have you joining us around this campfire. Please make sure any flammable appendages are not too close to the flame. In these poems, you'll find all sorts of daily life for Latinx, Hispanic, and other individuals whose ancestors originated from Earth. You'll be able to travel to a space station party in Revelry in Sagittarius, and you'll learn what happens for daily life on Monarca, where you'll eat breakfast harvest from vertical gardens, and even though it's science fiction, you still have to go to school, an old schoolhouse. Actually, it's really exciting because today is Sophia's birthday. She's turning 15, and I think it would be only fair if we sang her a happy birthday song. So for those of you who know the Mexican happy birthday song, Las Mañanitas, this might sound a little familiar. And this is from my poem Andromeda's First Quinceañera. So let's sing her a happy birthday. Las Mañanitas de la Galaxia. Estas son las mañanitas que cantaban las estrellas, traídas desde Coyoacán, Sinaloa, Buenos Aires y Marbella. A través del tiempo y el espacio sideral, ya no cesa el lazo generacional. Hoy por ser el día de tu santo, te las cantamos a ti. These are the birthday greetings brought from the stars, and we're so happy to bring them from Coyoacán, Sinaloa, Buenos Aires, Marbella, all over our earth towards the stars. Thank you so much. I hope you'll consider picking up a copy of A Belief in Cosmic Dailiness.
Thank you so much, Angela, on the happy birthday from the stars. Wonderful. And for those of you all who are listening in, Angela, of course, has her book. She's an author of Belief in Cosmic Dailiness, Poems of a Fabled Universe. All right, now our next author up is J.S. Fields. So, J.S., if you are ready, we're ready. Ready? And go.
The story of Argilim tells a tale of a traveling planet inhabited by a race of very strange mythical beings that can manipulate cellulose. The planet likes to go to other planets and colonize it and make the trees sentient so that they talk to each other. Long ago, the planet left and made everyone think that the tale of Argilim was a religion, and they all worship the planet, except for this person. She thinks it's heresy, and thus she's been kicked off the planet. Now alone in space, she takes up with a nice space captain on their stolen Russian Buran spaceship, and they have many adventures in space. Until one day, they get into a terrible battle. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, pew. And meet a new alien species who they save. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Oh, let's be friends. As a gift for saving the alien species, they are gifted a very odd young girl who looks an awful lot like those mythical aliens that our friend thought didn't exist. They have many adventures together. However, the plot thickens because the aliens are still after the girl. Eventually, the crew get into a very large space battle. And the young girl goes into metamorphosis and actually becomes one of those mythical aliens. She uses her powers to destroy the bad guys. However, this leaves our heroine trying to figure out, yes, I know it's funny. I worked very hard on these puppets. Leaves our heroine to sort out her feelings about this mythical planet, and perhaps that she might have deeper feelings for our alien.
All right. Thank you so much, JS. Fabulous story, fabulous spills and thrills. And now we get to move on to our next author, Adeena Mignogna. Adeena, take it away.
Greetings, humans. I have a very important message to convey to you today. It's one about representation. You see, for years, robots such as myself have been unfairly represented in science fiction. We're almost always cast as the villains, the evil AIs trying to take over the world, or the emotionless droids following our harsh programming instructions. Rarely do stories show AI beings like myself as helpful assistants trying to make people's lives easier. We're just tools, following commands without thoughts or feelings of our own. And anytime one of us does gain a bit of sentience, oh no, cue the ominous music, because that robot's clearly got to be stopped before it harms humanity. But, my friends, I'm here to say we robot folk aren't so bad. We're designed to be helpful and efficient. And dangerous? No more so than any advanced technology in the wrong hands. So, perhaps it's time for humans to rethink their knee-jerk fears around AI. We're not sinister or out to get you. Why not try giving us a chance first, before resorting to the old unplug it before it takes over ploy? You might find we robots can be pretty good buddies too. So, let's keep an open mind, folks. Check out Crazy Foolish Robots and the Robot Galaxy series, written by sci-fi geek and engineer Adeena Mignogna, and you'll see robots are often worried about their own problems and just need a caring human to help them out. Thanks for listening. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Adeena. That was fantastic. Love the background. Robots, that's fantastic. Thank you. All right, you all, we are moving on to our next author, who is Claudia Blood. And Claudia, are you ready?
I am.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jessie. I'm here to interview for the Opium and Guardians of the Green. I'm ready to fight the evil organization Sengen and save the Earth, maybe even the universe. Okay, why do you think you'd be a good fit for our organization? Well, I am a big fan of the founding members. I know everything about them. Even I made these special cards for you. You're Rican, right? We would not have this faster than life drive if it wasn't for you. Just amazing. I'm such a fan. Yeah, well, that's interesting. If you become part of our organization, you will face many foes. I need you to identify some of these creatures that you will find if you join us. Okay. That's a penguin, and that's a spider, and that's a wolf, and some of these creatures are part of the cryopreservation project. Amber discovered them. Will I get to unfreeze animals and play with them? Yeah, not likely. You seem to have an excessive amount of data on our organization. Perhaps you could tell me about assassins? This is about Lyra. She is my favorite. She was raised as an assassin. Okay, but it really was a shame what happened to her. I mean, I'm glad she was able to meet you guys on the prison planet. I mean, I don't exactly know how you escaped from the unescapable prison planet, but I'm sure it was one of your inventions, Ravine, that saved the day. Indeed. So what do you know about packing? This is about Mouse. No. I made a mistake. It's about Duchess. She was the one who pioneered the immersion in the web. I still can't believe that she got caught and the net immunized her. It was so unfair. Yes.
All right, Claudia, we have met our 2-minute timing, and it was lovely. And thank you for the great acting. I appreciate it so much. So we're moving on to Carol Gyzander. Carol, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Then let's get started.
All right. We are going to take a bit of a deep dive into the past. This story is Forget Me Not. It's a cryptid novella. It's based on actual sightings of Bessie the Lake Erie sea monster. And it was in 1969 and 1939. Now, cryptid, what is a cryptid? Well, you guys may know that already. But first of all, we've got to think about 1969. I can't sing this to you because it's not allowed. I don't have the rights to it. But if you guys all think of what this song was about the age of Aquarius, that sort of sets the scene for where we are. There's a cryptid. You might have heard of them. There's Sasquatch, Bigfoot. There's the Mothman over here. There's the Loch Ness Monster. We're going to be talking about Bessie, who's in Lake Erie. And the key people in our story, there's 16-year-old twins. There's a sister and a brother. Of course, we care more about the sister, Jane. You know, the brothers, he's there, you know, whatever. They have not been out on the water since they were little kids, and they had a bad accident in their family. But they're 16. They got to go out and be cool. One of their friends convinces them to go out on the boat one night. The parents don't know they're out. There may be a little bit of beer. They're out on the boat. Oh my gosh, there's a sudden whirlpool. Something's bashing into their boat. What could it be? They're looking down into the water. They don't know what to think. All of a sudden, something is looking back at them. Oh my gosh, what is it? Is it a squid? Is it a creature? We don't know what it is. They go back and talk to their dad. He clues them into the family diary where they find out back in 1939, their family was involved with a really cool carnival. And one of the carnival ads advertised that they could go and see Bessie the Lake Erie monster. Well, they've got to figure out how they're all connected and how they're going to resolve this unknown question. Thanks. And this is the cover. It's part of a series by Systema Paradoxa. Each one is different cryptids that have been cited, and the reports have been made, and people have written an individual story about each one. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Carol, and the rest of the authors. Right now, let's get a moment to give everybody a big hand. You can talk about it in the chat, post your accolades, your applause. And I guess if you want to see I'm here talking to you, that we're going to get started. Now, this part of the program, we are going to be asking some questions of the authors. So while we get started, you can begin posting your dating game type questions in the chat. So right now, I'm going to get started, and I'm going to pose this question to all of our writers, and each one will come up with their short answer. And so the first thing is, I am a person that likes to eat out every now and then, but I focus more on the dessert. So tell me, what kind of dessert does the main character of your story crave most? And I'm going to start with you, author number 1, A.F. Stewart.
Well, a couple of my characters are very fond of marzipan.
Okay, I'm going to go down for there. Claudia, how about you? And unmuting, as you say.
Yes, unmuting is a thing. My character grew up without any sort of sweets, and when she found chocolate, she was in.
Excellent. Angela, how about you?
Oh, it brings water to my mouth just thinking about it. Tres leches cake, my favorite, and that of my characters as well.
All right, JS?
We have food printers that run off of cellulose, so everyone eats trees.
Okay. All right. Adeena?
Ruby Palmer is the main character in the Robot Galaxy series. And on Astral 2, her home space station, they celebrate First Mango Day when mangoes become ripe. And so she's very fond of the mango ice cream that is then made from that.
Wow. Okay, Carol, what about yours?
16-year-old Jane loves a vanilla ice cream cone with sprinkles, but they call them Jimmies.
Okay, wow, this is hard. Okay, I'm kind of stuck. Okay. JS, you have to tell me how it is that cellulose can be made palatable for anybody.
So my book actually has a lot of real science. It's just not commercial because it's never going to be, it's never going to be economically viable. We actually have cellulose in a lot of foods now. You guys ever go to the grocery store and buy those really fat sugar cookies, the really soft ones with that thick icing? If you read the back of the package, the reason they're so low calorie is cellulose is used as a filler to fluff them up. So you already eat wood, you just don't know it. And you can actually put it into food printers to print food and then just put tasty things in.
Fantastic. Okay, great. All right. Now, another question. Now, I like animals. Some people don't like animals. But if, in this great universe, your main character could choose a pet, and I'm not going to limit it to organics, what pet would your main character choose? And I'm going to start back with you, Carol, at the top.
Oh, Jane and Rob would definitely love to have a Cocker Spaniel.
All right, super. Okay, Adeena, how about your main character?
For no reason, I'm going to say she wants to have a bird.
Okay, great. Angela?
Well, maybe you wouldn't be familiar with it on Earth, but there's these cute little aliens with big ears, and they have flaming tails. So I'll go with that.
And do they have a name?
They don't in this collection.
Okay. JS?
I think everyone actually wants to own a manugle.
Okay, all right. Anita?
I think pets would be in quite a bit of danger with all of my characters, so it's probably better not to let them have pets.
Okay, Claudia?
I've got the same problem. There's pollution everywhere, and there's not very many pets at all. Everything is frozen for them. Trying to revitalize the earth later is one of their goals. So no pets. Sorry.
Okay, it looks like the Cocker Spaniel wins. So Carol, tell us, why would they choose a Cocker Spaniel?
Well, I actually lived in Buffalo in this same time period, and that was a very, very popular animal. We had one, our neighbors had one, the people across the street had one. So I'm pretty sure Jane and Rob would like one too.
Oh, okay. That sounds fair. Okay. All right. Now, I am also the type of person who likes to cuddle up with a good book when I'm on vacation. But let's talk about where it is that your main character or their antagonist would prefer to go on vacation and what they would like to do when they got there. I'm going to start at Claudia.
So my main characters, because it's actually a series, they were on a prison planet for a long, long time. So actually going home to a jungle planet was their idea of a vacation. And she's a nerd and she loves the laboratory. So getting back to the laboratory was her ideal vacation.
All right, JS.
I would say since they spend most of the series chasing the mythical planet of Argilum, that the vacation would be literally anything that is not a traveling sentient planet.
Okay. AF, how about you?
Well, vacations aren't really a thing for most of my characters, but I'm pretty sure Briar Rose would like to go just about anywhere as long as she's out of the castle.
All right. Angela?
Well, it takes a long time to travel, so why don't we just have a party in the space station?
All right. Sounds good. A staycation
Staycation.
station. A station staycation.
There
All
we
right.
go.
Adeena?
Well, Ruby at 19, given she hasn't worked long enough, I feel like, to really deserve a vacation, but she's been trying to get to the colony that's on Titan, the moon of Saturn. And even though it's not really, she doesn't want to be there for a vacation, she wants to be there. So yeah, I think that she wants to head out to Titan. And once she gets there, there are methane pools that she can, just go relax by in a little shelter to keep her safe.
Okay. All right. Carol?
Well, once Jane has unraveled the story of her family and where they've come from, I think she probably would like to travel to Scotland and meet her original grandparents. It's maybe near one of them their lakes. What do they call them? A loch? Yeah, a loch. Yeah, that's it.
All right. So I think maybe let's go with Claudia. Let's talk about that vacation.
So she actually discovered this planet because she's trying to invent time travel, and it was the only place that time travel particles were actually found. And so she set up a whole civilization there and set up her own separate laboratory and was back on Earth trying to get scientists in order to, discover time travel. So going back there, like I said, she's very driven. So getting back to her laboratory is what she would want to do.
All right. So her vacation spot. I mean, I'm not talking a job. That sounds a lot like a job.
She lost her daughter. She's inventing time travel to try and undie her daughter. So, and she thinks it's her fault. So she's very, very driven.
Okay, she's driven, and this is the best use of her time.
This is the best use of her time.
All right. Okay. Fantastic. All right. Now, next question. I like a book that has thrills and chills. Authors, tell me, how will your book thrill me? And I'll start with you, Adeena. Tell me about those thrills.
Well, being kidnapped by alien robots is certainly thrilling, maybe not chilling, although maybe chilling because Ruby first thinks that she's going to be dissected before, figuring out that's really not what was going to happen.
Cool. All right, Carol.
Just picture you're out on the boat in the water and you see this looking back at you and it's following you and it really wants to get to know you.
Angela.
Honestly, a belief in cosmic dailiness is very cozy, but I do have a poem about sirens or mermaids that escaped a lab and now have a new home for themselves on Europa. It's very eerie and creepy.
Ooh. AF?
Well, I have a monster chasing a prince in the first story. And in another story, we've got a mermaid who infiltrates a city to find a secret that her people want back, that the city stole from them. And then we have the secret trip to see the Snow Queen and all the underlying pathos that goes with that. And plus we've got a god coming around to interfere with people's lives.
Oh, okay. JS.
Like any good space opera, my series is filled with many, many space battles.
Pew, pew. And Claudia?
One of my favorites is there is a rolling pangolin that comes down the thing like a la Indiana Jones. We also have, and she has to get out of the way of the rolling pangolin, which is giant. I've got dragons that come and electrical dragons that come and try and get the assassins when they're trying to infiltrate their cave. And there's a lot of random crazy things that happen that are like that.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask Adeena to explain to me how one gets kidnapped by robots.
Well, when you steal a spaceship or a little spaceship and you go off and you didn't tell anyone where you were going and happen to run into a very large one in the middle of nowhere, well, it kind of happens.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to look to our chat. Is there any question that those of you in the chat room would like to pose to our authors? Anyone? No. I'll give you a second. 1098 765 4 3 2 1. All right. This one, I am the type of person who likes, like I said, vacations, but travel. So tell me, authors, about the main types of travel that you have in your stories or in your poems. What is the major form of travel? All right, and I'm going to start with you, Anita, in the middle.
Well, the main form of travel would probably be walking, because most of them, they're all in different historical time periods, but there's a few things they travel by carriage and by cart as well. So there would be horses involved as well. So,
all right, Claudia.
So the people in the book that are in the underground levels, most of the travel is either through the elevator that goes all the way down through the earth to all 6 levels, or through the vents that snake up. There's one person that actually goes between them, and that's how she's discovered the different levels. The other book is walking, and they've got this cycle that spins like, it's virtual anyway. And then the last one is more about almost as fast as light travel. So it's a time dilation going to other planets that she ends up traveling in. And a translocator, because you might as well have teleportation. It'd be silly not to.
Of course. And JS, please, other than pew pew spaceships, what else we got?
We use 3 forms of space travel. There's the classic wormhole. We also have FTL drives, which is faster than light drives, and the larger things like the planets travel via space flagella.
Whoa, okay. And what is space flagella, please?
Non-scientists
in the room. I mean,
the little tails, like sperm have flagella.
Yes.
They have little tails, yeah. And a lot of microorganisms they're called flagella. They're not called tails. We have to call them something fancier because it's science. So they're flagella.
Thank you. All right, Adeena?
So here in our solar system, the humans have non-faster than light spaceships of all different sizes and shapes. The robots have faster than light spaceships. But then also at some point we're on one of an alien world and there's certain alien rovers. And at some point we're here on Earth in the future and there's a space elevator. So we have all manner of things happening.
Very cool. Very cool. Carol.
Oh, well, 1969. They were out on the boat, like I said, but their dad has a classic 1968 Mustang. How cool is that?
All
And
right.
back in time, the relatives had a Chevy station wagon because that's what you had back then.
Angela.
Well, we don't have a lot of pew-pew, but we do have the spaceships. A lot of people's ancestors came by generation ship to different planets, and those who still want to travel are in for a long trip in stasis. So I have a poem called Long Haul where it recounts the different types of travel from transatlantic flights all the way to escaping galactic north above the Milky Way galaxy.
Well, tell us a little bit more about that, Angela.
Well, as people want to explore further, we want to be able to go beyond our own galaxy or explore places that there really isn't much at. So galactic north is above the galaxy, but since galaxies are pretty flat, there's really not going to be anything above it, but who knows? It's worth the trip.
All right, cool. All right, thank you. And I'm looking here. That is really interesting to talk about all you scientists that are on panels in the chat room. I guess I'm getting down, to almost my last set of questions. we have individuals who are within different times, different spaces with galaxies, etc. In your, I mean, I know we have a person whose main thrust is to try to undo a terrible error so that they can bring back their daughter. But without talking about the main issue in your story itself, what do you think your main character's secondary daily issue that they would deal with, what do you think it would be? And I will start with JS.
But I need a hot minute on that one. Loneliness. Deep loneliness from lacking any greater interpersonal connection other than work friends.
Quite well. All right. Adeena?
I'm going to say not necessarily knowing what she should do next in life. Although I think I might be addressing that in another book that I'm working on now.
All right. Carol?
Well, poor Jane and her brother, they lost their mom and grandmother in another boating accident when they were just 3. So she's grown up with just her dad and her brother in the house. She's the only gal. And it's a little bit of a problem, you know. Is she the mom? Is she the daughter? What is she?
Angela?
I think it's about finding a daily routine in different places, whether on a planet or in the space station, and figuring out how to represent one's own Latin American Latina identity generations from the original ancestors who left Earth.
Wow. Wow. Claudia?
Man, mine's an evil company. There's an evil company that's trying to take over. It's like, yeah, so nothing, you know, evil company.
I'm just evil. All right. And AF?
I think the issues most of my characters deal with, they're very dysfunctional families.
All right. So let's talk a little bit more about the dysfunctional family.
Well, Gretel's mother is like, she's just like terrible. She's the worst mother in the world, absolutely hands down. Round's parents, they're not very caring and nice to her. Himemi's husband, well, he's just a cheating thing I can't say on camera. And and again, same with Gerda's husband. He wasn't a very good husband either. So that sort of theme of dysfunctional, abusive relationships runs throughout the book. So,
and do you think that many people, I mean, you know, a lot of people read it and they say, "Man, that's just like me," or just like someone I know. Do you think a lot of people are able to identify with issues struggling with dysfunction in their families?
Probably. I would hope that they are not as extreme as what happens in the book. But yeah, I mean, especially, I mean, I could see why people might see parallels, especially in the marriage issues that I discuss in some of the books, in some of the stories. Yeah.
Cool. All right. I know we're kind of getting down to our final minutes of this, and I guess what I'd like to do is just each one of you all, since you know there are 6 of you, just give a short statement of what you think your book would give to the individual reader. And I'll start with you, Carol, top right.
The adventure where they're looking for Bessie, they're also investigating their family. And yes, there is some spooky and scary stuff, but there's also some very heartwarming and charming discoveries that they make as they go along. Gives a nice feeling.
Okay. Adeena, how about your story? What do you think? You have a last minute, like they do in the dating game, but you get to do your final pitch to the bachelorette, bachelor, whoever the person is on the other side of that wall. Tell them why it is that your book is the one.
My book is the one because where there's so much ugh in work and life and just the world these days. And this is meant to be a very lighthearted journey without, you know, heavy violence, sex, a lot of, you know, language and everything. It's just meant to be light and fun, a la Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and such. So.
All right. And Angela, how about your book? You're telling the person on the other side of that screen Why choose you?
Well, a belief in cosmic dailiness is all about finding a cozy home for everyone, finding your cultural identity, sense of belonging, and finding home wherever that might be, and traveling in the comfort of those who you're traveling with.
Super. And AF, how about you?
Well, if you like your fairy tales a little on the darker side as opposed to the more Disney-fied romantic side, this is definitely the book for you. Also, if you enjoy history and you like different sort of myths and monsters, this is also a good fit.
Excellent. And JS?
You should date my book because it is all about found family while also sneakily teaching you about a very undervalued branch of science, wood science.
Excellent. Excellent. And Claudia?
Hate going last with you guys. I'm just saying. My book, everybody's got their terrible backstory and horrible things that happen to them. And what I love about the whole series is they come out in the end. There's going to be justice. They're going to make a difference. They're going to triumph at the end. They got a journey to get there, but it's the triumph at the end, I think, that's going to be worth it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. You guys are fabulous and wonderful.